Good day, everyone. We are Group 1 of ESE183-2, Section B1, and we will be presenting to you our Solid Waste Management Project with Silang Cavite as our study area. Our members are Arango, Bawar, Cruz, Jeremias, Logmao, Mauyao, Orcilla, Riguera, Santos, and Sun. Our report will be divided into two main parts, mainly the background and the project proposal. Let us first have the background of our study area.
For the location and population of Silang Municipality, it is one of Cavite's municipalities and it is classified as a first-class municipality. It is located in Cavite's eastern region and covers an area of 154.41 kilometers squared. It consists of 64 barangays, which 5 are urban and 59 are rural. The urban barangays are Barangay 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the remaining barangays are classified as rural. According to 2020 census, it has a population of 295,644, and this represents 6.8% of the total population of Cavite province.
For the health situation in Silang, unfortunately, there is no available data on the top 10 causes of morbidity and mortality in the municipality. However, data is available on the top 10 causes of morbidity and mortality in the province of Cavite. Seen in this table are the top 10 causes of morbidity in Cavite in 2018. The number one cause of morbidity are acute upper respiratory infections, which affected 2,772 per 100,000 residents. The next 9, in rank descending order, are hypertension, acute lower respiratory infections, accidents, urinary system disorders, dermatosis, diabetes, infectious intestinal diseases, gastrointestinal tract diseases, and oral cavity, salivary gland, and jaw diseases. Meanwhile, the top cause of mortality in Cavite are heart diseases, which affected 101 residents per 100,000. The next 9, in rank descending order, are pneumonia, malignant neoplasm, hypertensive diseases, accidents, renal diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, tuberculosis, and pregnancy complications. As additional information on the health situation in the municipality of Silang, there are a total of 6 hospitals in the municipality. 5 are level 1 hospitals and 1 is a level 2 hospital, giving a total bed capacity of 177 hospital beds. This gives the municipality a hospital bed to population ratio of 1 bed to 1,547 residents, which is significantly below the target of 1 is to 1,000.
Upon the interview with the head of MENRO, numerous solid waste management projects are named and are ongoing. These projects are all part of Silang 10-year Solid Waste Management Plan of 2015 to 2025, which is approved in 2016 by the National Solid Waste Management Commission. These projects that are part of the 10-year plan are the following: their own system of solid waste management, waste to brick project, plastic paving blocks, eco gardens, mini dumper, backyard composting, and overproduction in socks. Silang Cavite implements the Kautosang Bilang Poblete Bilamide 009 Serie 2016 known as Kautosang Nagtatakda ng Wastong Pangangasiwa ng Basura sa Munisipalidad ng Silang Cavite, which is passed on August 1, 2016. It aims to implement a systematic way of disposing waste to protect and maintain the cleanliness and orderliness of the municipality and to ensure the health and safety of the community.
Silang is a commendable municipality in terms of solid waste management as they are compliant in having a 10-year solid waste management plan. And Silang has also been a recipient to many awards that recognizes their efforts to address the solid waste issues present in their community, like Best Environmental Technology, Best Environmental Practices, and Silver Awardee for Solid Waste Management. Horizon up, oh yeah! However, despite these awards, Mrs. Cabrera also admitted that They do not cover the industrial waste since these industries had their own haulers. Though these industrial wastes are still monitored by the LGU, a concrete and integrated plan and decision has to be made regarding this one since this sector resides in their city and therefore under their jurisdiction. The same gap also applies to commercial wastes, which requires an integrated plan and attention like those for domestic waste. As stressed out by Mrs. Cabrera, the waste coming from commercial establishments of populated areas were hauled sometimes by Silang's garbage trucks. And she continued on by saying that these establishments are apprehended during the renewal or application of their business permits. It is during these times that the LGU gets their environmental compliance, and in any case that these establishments forget their responsibilities, a notice of violation will be sent. And if there are other complaints, the LGU will forward the situation to the national government agencies like DNR and LLDA. Obviously, there are plenty of room for improvement in terms of managing the wastes under the commercial sectors, and it may include a request for direct action and immediate change towards a violating commercial industry without having the need to wait for these businesses to apply for renewal before they get apprehended. Finally, other common gaps mentioned were the budget in terms of management as well as in procurement of technology that they needed in order to achieve a more efficient way of processing their wastes. These may include technologies that will replace manpower in the production of their ecobricks, and technologies for their composting efforts and bio-wastes. Furthermore, the city also admits that they are lacking in terms of integrated waste management facility and treatment facility and wishes to establish one in the future simply because MRFs are not enough, and so that they can also become a more equipped city in terms of handling existing and future domestic wastes. Oh yeah!
We will now discuss the challenges that Silang Cavite is currently facing with regards to its solid waste management. According to Mrs. Cabrera, our interviewee, the main problem lies on the mindset of the people. She stated that the people of Silang view solid waste as mere plain garbage with no value, when in fact, these garbage can actually become profitable when they are managed properly. She emphasized that what they have to do is to make the people become more aware of this fact, as awareness is always the first step to change. She also said that the people lack discipline, pertaining to some people that continue to litter and those that do not properly segregate their garbage at the household level. Another challenge is the large volumes of plastic waste in the municipality. Mrs. Cabrera elaborated that ever since the pandemic started, plastic wastes, especially in domestic waste, have increased significantly. She had specially mentioned that one of the largest contributors for this problem is the rising trend of online shopping that boomed during the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is due to the parcels that use up a large volume of plastics that end up as pure garbage because of poor management.
There are plans to have an integrated waste management and treatment for the whole municipality of Silang. The local government also plans to procure modern equipment to manage and treat most, if not all, waste classifications. These new equipment and technologies will hopefully not just improve the current composting system for the biodegradable waste, but will also help enable new waste management processes for the treatment of other kinds of waste. This will allow the local government to tackle the stated gaps in the current solid waste management, as Ms. Cabrera said, that they currently do not cover commercial and industrial wastes.
We will now proceed with the project proposal of our report.
The problem in Silang. Silang has a numerous programs and projects aimed at recycling and reducing the quantity of solid waste generated by the community. However, these projects and programs are only available in some of the barangays in the municipality. Silang has 64 barangays, and one of their concern is how the local government would handle such a large town. One of these projects is the distribution of mini dumpers to the barangays that were only actively complying with local regulation. The problem is centered on what method must be implemented for all 64 barangays to be made aware of and actively engage in the process of solid waste management.
This proposal aims to improve the existing projects and plans of the municipality of Silang Cavite with their solid waste management. At the implementation of this proposal, all the barangays shall be compliant with their SWM ordinance and be actively involved and educated with their responsibilities as residents. The central SWM shall be improved and concentrated to implement the plans and projects of the municipality effectively and efficiently for the cleanliness and orderliness of their jurisdiction. All the barangays shall be given assistance for them to opportunely comply with environmental ordinances. Through this, safety and public health shall be ensured. To successfully achieve that, the following specific objectives shall be attained. First, group barangays into 8 clusters, making 8 barangays each cluster to enable a more focused and more concentrated SWM. Each cluster shall report to the central SWM. Construct additional 2 more MRF in strategic location that is accessible to their covered clusters. And third, provide environmental awareness and promote SWM to residents for them to be more engaged in helping the community have a healthy environment.
Now that we are done with the discussion of the background of the study, the problem that the project will address, and the project objective, let us move on with the strategies that we will utilize to achieve these objectives. The first strategy is SMART analysis, wherein you will analyze each objective to create suitable implementation plan for it with the following criteria that we must follow. It must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, or SMART in short. These criteria are important because it will make the project and activities much easier to execute, as well as it will ensure you that you will achieve the objectives that you have specified. In creating an implementation plan, the concept of SMART is important, especially in the field of government affairs, because each of the projects and activities of the government must be specific, measurable, and realistically achievable within a certain time frame. In addition, conducting a SMART analysis will also help in managing and sustaining the project for a long time. In addition to SMART analysis is the SWOT analysis, wherein each activities and project that will be implemented and proposed will be analyzed on the following criteria: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. SWOT analysis is a strategic planning technique that can provide assessment tools for a project or organization. Conducting a SWOT analysis is helpful in assessing the best course of action for the present time, as well as give a successful strategy for the future. Along with the SMART and SWOT analysis, it is also important to create an action plan for each goal that the proponent or the implementers want to achieve. A plan of action will help guide the proponents or the implementers in achieving the goals that they want to achieve. And lastly, it is important to track the progress done in achieving these goals. It is important to track it regardless of how big or small the progress done. Tracking the progress will give the proponent, implementer, and even the general public an idea on how far or near they are in achieving the goals they have set. This also gives a sense of transparency and accountability on both implementers and the general public.
Now moving on to our implementation plan. Our implementation plan can be divided into 5 stages. These 5 stages being awareness and approval, documentation and promotion, training, before finalization date, and lastly, the follow-up. So under awareness and approval, tasks like identifying key stakeholders needed to approve the project, attending and holding meetings about the project, identifying finalization or implementation date of the project, as well as getting approval will happen, which will then be followed by documentation and promotion, which has like identifying and developing necessary forms to document participants, resources, and etc. Also, ensuring and maintaining a surplus supply of all materials needed for promotion, as well as publishing articles, sending emails, and distributing posters will happen. So after that said documentation and promotion, the training stage will begin, which includes identifying a key personnel and schedule sessions for each barangay, and then also scheduling presentations for residents, scheduling meetings with the officials will happen. So in order to ensure everything will go according to plan, a checking with each barangay for possible questions and issues will also commence before the finalization and implementation date. So after said project implementation, there will also be a follow-up stage wherein there will be a key person assigned in each cluster to answer questions regarding problems, issues during implementation, as well as the following months. There will also be oral surveys that will be given or that will be conducted and given to each barangay in the follow-up stage.
Budget and implementing mechanism. According to the objectives presented, the 64 barangays will be clustered into 8, and considering the 8 clusters of the barangay, 4 solid waste management officer will be required in the municipal hall, wherein 1 solid waste management officer handles 2 clusters of barangay. 2 additional material recovery facilities will also be constructed and be estimated to be completed in 75 days. And to achieve the third objective, workshops and seminars will also be conducted. Poster and handouts will be presented and distributed. Considering a 3-year period, the table in the slide shows the rough estimation of project costs in achieving the objectives of this project proposal. The cost for personnel is 2,645,050 pesos. For materials, it's 535,500 pesos. And for others or miscellaneous costs, it's 125,000. This brings the total cost to 3,305,550 pesos.
We will now discuss the advocacy plan which advocates citizens to be part of the solution to help the environment. This plan prioritizes increasing the number of citizens actively engaging in solid waste management activities implemented by the local government. And in order to do so, this plan focuses on finding ways to reach the citizens. The first goal of this plan is to enhance the awareness of the citizens regarding waste issues and increasing their understanding about waste reduction, reuse, recycling, and resource recovery. To achieve this, social media pages such as a Facebook page will be handled and will be filled with posts promoting sustainable practices and facts on the impact of waste pollution to the environment and how it relates to the municipality. The first step is to gather factual and helpful information about these topics through researching and consulting professionals. This is to prevent the spread of fake information that can harm the livelihoods of the citizens. Next is to create infographics that briefly and concisely explains these environmental challenges and the recommended solutions. Lastly, the questions and messages of the viewers will be actively entertained to help them understand the importance of this advocacy. The authorities responsible are MENRO, Solid Waste Educators and Enforcer Team, and Sangguniang Kabataan Federation. The second goal is to encourage citizens to actively participate in solid waste management activities implemented by the local government. The strategy applied to accomplish this goal is to regularly update citizens on the solid waste management policies and schedule of activities. The outline of the steps is the following. First is to create a social media page dedicated on promoting current and upcoming solid waste management activities. Second is to discuss the outcomes and benefits of participating in local solid waste management programs. And lastly is to give incentives based on the success of completing a time-bound solid waste management activity. The authorities responsible are MENRO, Solid Waste Management, Educators and Enforcer Team, Sangguniang Kabataan Federation, and Municipal Budget Office.
And the third goal of the advocacy plan is to develop a sense of responsibility within the citizens towards environmental conservation by furthering the local solid waste management activities and programs. This can be achieved through the creation of a vibrant group chat where daily reminders, tips, news, and quotes on solid waste management are disseminated accordingly. The outline of the activities are the following.
First is to collect the necessary personal information to create a municipal group chat. Next, focus on creating virtual space for discussions and recommendations on how to improve solid waste management practices in their own homes, as well as give advices and heads up to spark their initiative towards performing effective solid waste management, and systematically update citizens if there are new efficient methods and ways that they can adapt to improve solid waste management in their residence. And these activities should be spearheaded by the MENRO, Solid Waste Educators and Enforcer Team, and the Sangguniang Kabataan Federation.
And that concludes our report, so thank you for listening.